Take a moment and pause just for a second and give your full attention to this. In a world where everything is loud, fast, and constantly competing for your focus, it's easy to overlook the quiet moments that actually matter the most. Not everything important comes with noise. Not everything that impacts your life shows up with excitement or warning. Sometimes, it arrives quietly, almost unnoticed. And that's exactly why this moment matters. Because right now, something important is approaching. Something that may not seem urgent at first glance, but holds real value in your everyday life. It's the kind of thing that can ease pressure, bring a sense of calm, and give you a little more control over your situation if you're paying attention. Too often, people move through their days on autopilot. Wake up, scroll, rush, repeat. And in that cycle, they miss what's right in front of them. They miss opportunities to stay prepared, to stay aware, to stay one step ahead. Not because they don't care, but because no one told them to slow down and notice. So right now, this is that moment. A reminder to stop, to focus, and to realize that something meaningful is about to happen. It may not feel exciting, it may not look dramatic, but it has a direct connection to your life, to your routine, to your peace of mind. And when you begin to treat these small moments with importance, everything starts to shift. You become more aware, more in control, more intentional with how you move through life. Because the truth is, attention is power. Where you place your attention determines what you gain, what you miss, and how prepared you are for what's coming next. So don't brush this off. Don't let it pass like just another day. Lean into it. Stay present with it. Because the people who win in life aren't always the loudest or the fastest, they're the ones who notice what others ignore, and act on it at the right time. Now feel the timing of this, because this isn't something far away, something you can think about later or push to the back of your mind. This is happening this Friday. Not next month, not someday in the future. It's right here, right now, approaching faster than you think. And that's where the real message is. This is not about panic. This is not about stress. This is about recognizing the moment before it arrives. Because there's a big difference between something happening to you and you being ready for it. Most people wait. They assume everything will just fall into place. They tell themselves, it'll come when it comes, and they move on without a second thought. But that kind of thinking keeps you reactive. It keeps you behind. It makes you deal with things after they happen instead of being prepared before they arrive. But you're not here to live like that. You're here to stay aware. To stay one step ahead. To understand that even routine things that happen automatically still deserve your attention. Because when you stay aware, you stay in control. This Friday isn't just another day. It's a point in time where something important is scheduled, something you can count on, something that can support you. And when you know the timing, when you feel the urgency, not pressure, but awareness, you start to move differently. You check. You prepare. You make space for it. You don't let it slip past you unnoticed. That's how you build control in your life. Not through big, dramatic changes, but through small, intentional awareness of what's happening and when it's happening. Because urgency doesn't always mean chaos. Sometimes, urgency is quiet. It's calm. It's simply a reminder that time is moving, and something valuable is right around the corner. And when you understand that, you don't rush, you align. You position yourself to receive, to respond, and to move forward with clarity instead of confusion. Now bring this closer to your real life, because this isn't just about numbers on a screen or a deposit in a bank account. This is about what that moment actually means for you. It's about the bills waiting on the table, the responsibilities that don't pause, the small pressures that build up day by day without asking for permission. This is about real life. It's about waking up and thinking about what needs to be paid, what needs to be managed, what needs your attention. It's about that quiet stress in the back of your mind that doesn't always speak loudly, but you feel it. You carry it. And sometimes, you don't even realize how much weight it has until a moment of relief shows up. And that's what makes this important. Because when that deposit comes in, it's not just money, it's a shift in feeling. It's that small exhale you didn't even know you needed. It's the moment where things feel just a little more stable, a little more manageable. Where you can look at your situation and say, okay, I've got this. For some, it means groceries on the table without worry. For others, it means keeping up with bills without falling behind. For someone else, it's simply the comfort of knowing that something reliable is there, something you can count on in a world that often feels uncertain. And that matters more than people admit. Because stability is powerful. Even a small sense of it can change your mindset. It can give you clarity. It can help you think better, plan better, move forward instead of feeling stuck. This isn't about luxury. This isn't about excess. This is about support. About having something in place that helps you keep going, that helps you stand a little stronger, that reminds you that you're not completely on your own. So when you think about this moment, don't reduce it to just a transaction. Feel what it represents. Understand the role it plays in your life. Because when you truly see its impact, you stop taking it lightly and you start respecting it as something that genuinely makes a difference. Now here's where everything begins to shift, because there's a big difference between just waiting for something to happen and actually being aware of it while it's happening. Most people live in that waiting mode. They sit back, they assume, they let life move around them instead of moving with it. They check later. They think later. They react later. And without realizing it, they give up control. But the moment you decide to be aware, everything changes. You're no longer passive. You're no longer just hoping things go right. You're present. You're alert. You know what's coming, and you're ready for it. That small shift from waiting to knowing is powerful. Because awareness puts you in charge. It means you don't get surprised by your own life. You don't wake up confused, wondering what happened or where things stand. You already know. You've already checked. You've already taken a moment to understand what's moving in your world. And that brings a different kind of confidence. It's calm. It's steady. It's not loud or dramatic, but it's strong. It's the feeling of being connected to your own life instead of feeling like things are just happening to you. Think about it: when you're aware, you make better decisions. You plan better. You respond instead of react. You don't rush at the last minute or feel that sudden pressure because you've already given yourself the advantage of knowing. And it doesn't take much. Just a moment of attention. Just a decision to check, to stay informed, to stay present. But most people skip that step. They stay distracted. They stay disconnected. And because of that, they miss out on the sense of control that comes from simply being aware. You don't need to change everything in your life to feel more in control. Sometimes, it starts with something this simple: choosing not to wait blindly, choosing not to assume, choosing to be present in the moment when something important is happening. Because when you stop being passive and start being aware, you take ownership. And that's where real control begins. Now think about this in a deeper way, because in a world where so many things feel uncertain, where plans change, where expectations don't always match reality, there is something powerful about knowing that some things are reliable. Not perfect, not flashy, but consistent. And consistency builds trust. This is one of those moments. Something that doesn't depend on mood, or chance, or luck. Something that is designed to show up, to happen, to support you without you having to chase it every single time. It's working quietly in the background, following a system, following a schedule, doing exactly what it's meant to do. And that matters more than people realize. Because when you have something reliable in your life, it changes how you feel. It gives you a sense of ground beneath your feet. Even if everything else feels unstable, even if other parts of life feel unpredictable, this one thing stays steady. You can count on it. And that feeling of being able to count on something is powerful. It reduces stress. It brings a sense of order. It reminds you that not everything is out of control. But here's the key: you have to recognize that reliability. You have to acknowledge it. Because when you do, you stop taking it for granted, and you start using it wisely. You start planning around it. You start trusting it as part of your routine. You start seeing it not just as something that happens, but as something that supports your progress. It's easy to overlook things that happen automatically. When you don't have to fight for it, when you don't have to chase it, you might not give it the value it deserves. But automatic doesn't mean unimportant. Quiet doesn't mean insignificant. In fact, some of the most important things in life are the ones that work without noise, without attention, without needing constant effort from you. And when you begin to understand that, you develop a different mindset. You become more grounded. more stable, more confident in how you move forward. Because you know that while you're out there dealing with life, handling responsibilities, pushing through challenges, there is something steady behind you, something consistent, something you can rely on. Now take a moment to feel this from a different place, not just awareness, not just timing, but appreciation. Because in the middle of everything you deal with, everything you carry, everything you manage day after day, there is something arriving that is meant to support you. And that matters. It's easy to focus on what's missing. It's easy to think about what's not enough, what didn't go your way, what still needs to be fixed. That's where most people stay. They stay in that mindset of lack, always looking at what isn't there. But moments like this give you a chance to shift that perspective, even if just a little. Because something is coming in to help you. And when you allow yourself to recognize that, when you pause and actually feel it, there's a sense of relief that starts to build. Not loud, not overwhelming, but real. A quiet reassurance that you're not carrying everything alone, that there is something in place working to support you. That feeling matters more than you think. Gratitude isn't about ignoring your struggles. It's not about pretending everything is perfect. It's about acknowledging that even within the challenges, there are still things showing up for you. There are still moments of support, still systems that are there to help you keep going. And when you recognize that, your mindset begins to shift. You move from constant pressure to a sense of balance. You stop feeling like everything is against you, and you start seeing that there are things aligned in your favor too. That changes how you think. It changes how you feel. It even changes how you move through your day. Because when you feel supported, even in a small way, you stand a little stronger. You breathe a little easier. You think a little clearer. So instead of rushing past this moment, instead of treating it like just another routine event, take a second to acknowledge it. Feel that reassurance. Let it remind you that there is stability in your life, even if it comes in quiet ways. And sometimes, that quiet support is exactly what you need to keep moving forward with strength. And now, bring all of this together into one simple truth: being ready matters. Not in a complicated way, not in a stressful way, but in a calm, intentional way where you stay alert to what's happening in your life. Because too many people miss important moments not because they aren't important but because they aren't paying attention. They get distracted. They delay. They assume. And by the time they realize what's happened, they're already reacting instead of responding. They're trying to catch up instead of staying in control. But you don't have to live like that. You can choose to stay ready. You can choose to stay aware of what's coming, what's happening, what needs your attention right now. And that choice, even though it seems small, creates a powerful shift in how you move through life. When you stay alert, you avoid unnecessary stress. You avoid confusion. You avoid those last-minute moments where everything feels rushed and overwhelming. Instead, you move with clarity. You move with purpose. It's not about doing more. It's about being more present. It's about checking in with your life instead of drifting through it. It's about making sure you don't overlook something that is meant to support you, something that is already on its way to you. Because preparation doesn't always mean action, it often just means awareness. It means knowing what's happening and being mentally and practically ready for it. And that kind of readiness builds confidence. It gives you a sense of control that most people are missing. It helps you feel grounded, stable, and clear, even when everything else feels uncertain. So stay alert. Stay connected to what's happening around you. Don't let important moments pass quietly without your attention. Because when you're ready, you don't just receive what comes, you make the most of it.